There's something I want to talk about that I saw on YouTube, and I'll put a link to it down the bottom, but my gosh, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Now, I can tell you from the bit of experience I've had in the nursery industry, I'll explain what I saw. They used to make hothouse roofs using clear plastic, and how they do it is they get the clear plastic, they roll it out the length of the hothouse and sort of basically pull it tight end to end, and then what they do to get the sides tight, so it was sort of tight from one side to the other, they would get a bit of wood and lay it near the edge of the plastic, like on the edge of the plastic, and then roll it around, almost like you're rolling up an old carpet roll or something like that, but they'd use the wood inside and then roll it around like 5-6 times. Then they'd have a large piece of wood built into the framing of the hothouse, and they'd put a screw through the smaller bit of wood that had the 5-6 layers of plastic around it, and the screw would go through that and into the large piece of wood, and they'd go right in to hold it tight. And then they'd get on the other side and they'd pull it tight, and then they'd do the same thing on the other side, and while people were pulling it down, they'd belt the screws in, and then it'd give you a tight roof, and it wouldn't flap in the wind or do anything like that. Now, I assume they've used a similar method, and you could use a similar method to this to build the thing that I've put the link down in the bottom for. My gosh, this is a machine. Apparently it doesn't matter if you don't use a round side, you can use a square side, and it's basically like a frame like you'd have a large windmill on, or mostly like an overhead water tank frame. And basically you stand underneath this frame and you look up, and directly above you is a square sheet of clear plastic that's quite thick. And you've got to get the hose up there, whether you use a PVC pipe on the end of a hose or something like that, and you fill up the middle with water. Now, as it fills up, it sags in the middle, and because it's sagging down in the middle, you get a nice round circular edge on it. You also get it thicker in the middle and thinner at the sides. And you see what's going on here? They've basically used clear plastic and water pooling up in the middle to create a giant magnifying glass. And then, underneath that tank stand, you've got to be pretty careful about going under there if there's any water in it, because at some point underneath the tank stand there is a focal point. And that focal point is where you quite simply put your frying pan or whatever. And that all, he shows a bit of plywood there, and the plywood's smoking away. And that'll cook, you know, eggs for you and stuff like that. And if it's big enough, you know, you can boil a kettle and do whatnot on it. I have been told with some of these it's recommended that you actually use black pots. Now, I think they mean ones like black enamel are preferable because they absorb the heat a bit better. But anyway, I'll show the link to the description, and I'm sure he actually shows him building it as well. But I couldn't believe it. It was so simple. It was a large frame, a thick sheet of clear plastic, and water. And that was a solar cooker. None of this, you know, big satellite dish looking shenanigans with chrome stuff on it. This is, yeah, quite amazing. So have a look down the bottom. There's other ones that you may want to look at with a Fresnel lens, and if you get a rear projection screen TV, they're like the big screen TVs from like the 90s, them ones, and you pull them apart, you'll find this Fresnel lens, and they're magic. And I know of a place that has one, I think, and I'm going to go and see if I can get the blooming thing actually. They pull stuff out of the rubbish. It's something they use they give disabled people work, and they go and sort through the better stuff that comes in to the artificial dump before they sort through it, remove scrap metal and whatnot, and then the rest of it continues on to the actual landfill. But they have a lot of stuff there that doesn't move for a long time, and I'm pretty certain I saw a rear screen protection TV for $50 in there, so I may have a Fresnel lens sooner rather than later.